Hi, I want to share a lesson from Proverbs 31. This passage is known as the description of a godly woman, and I want to share it in such a way that it's encouraging for the sisters. There's 22 qualities of a godly spiritual woman listed in these verses, and that can be overwhelming. We can't expect women to be all super spiritual women, super women. But I think this is a list for sisters to aspire to, that these are lifelong goals and they're things to grow into. And as you mature in life, you'll increase in these different qualities and characteristics. And so let's look at them together and be encouraged that God has this vision for each other. In Proverbs 31:10, it says, a wife of noble character who can find, she is worth more than rubies. And so women are to aspire, especially if you're married, to be noble wives. And that description of noble is very important. And if you just summarized all 22, I guess you could say that the Proverbs 31 woman is she's committed to God and to her husband, to her family. She's a competent woman. She's very talented and skillful. She's a communicative woman. She voices her needs and the needs of her family, and supports her husband and supports other women. And she's a compassionate woman. She cares for the poor and her children and her neighbors and others. The second characteristic is in Proverbs 31:11. It's trustworthy. Fully trustworthy. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. And so, that says a lot, to have full confidence, totally trust, to know that you're married to somebody that really is a compliment and a benefit and a blessing to you, and it calls you to be the same for her. The next lesson I'm going to share a spiritual godly man. I've pulled out all different proverbs from the book to describe a godly man. And so this isn't just for the sisters. I'm going to share a lesson for the brothers too. In Proverbs 31:12, it says that she builds up her man. It says she brings him goodness, not harm, all the days of her life. And so that's such a blessing when you're a team, when you're partners, when you're supporting each other, when you're complimenting one another. Proverbs 31:13 says she's a hands-on worker. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. I think in our lifetime, really throughout history, all husbands and wives, fathers and mothers, men and women have needed to just be hard workers. There's just so much to do and so little time to do it. And she has great meals. In verse 14, it says, she's like the merchant ships bringing her food from afar. So she even imports some of her meals at times and tries different recipes, I guess. And then Proverbs 31:15, she really serves her family. She gets up while it's still dark, it says. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. And so obviously this is describing a ancient Middle East culture where in the household there were many people, and not just the immediate family, extended family, and different workers and servants and that type of thing. And then Proverbs 31:16, it says that she's a business owner. She considers a field and buys it, and out of her earnings she plants a vineyard. So godly women can and should own businesses, and I know my wife has a business, and it's just helped her to blossom as a person. In Proverbs 31:17, she's physically fit and strong. It says she sets about her work vigorously, and her arms are strong for her tasks. So we need to be healthy. We need to be strong. Proverbs 31:18, she puts in long hours. It says she sees that her trading is profitable and her lamp does not go out at night. And so she works till the work is done. Proverbs 31:19, she's frugal and thrifty. In her hands, she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. So she makes her own clothes and that kind of thing. Thankfully, we all don't have to have that skill today, but they did in the time this was written. In Proverbs 31:20, it says, she serves the poor. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. So she's got a great heart. She has a steady temperament. According to verse 21, it says, when it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. So she gives them warm clothes. Proverbs 31:22, she's stylish. And even in her home, it says she makes covering for her bed, and she is clothed in fine linen and purple. And then she helps her husband to be respected. Proverbs 31:23, her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. In Proverbs 31:24, she works outside the home. So it's okay to work in the home, it's okay to work outside the home, it's okay to do both. She makes linen garment and sells them and supplies the merchants with sashes. Proverbs 31:25, she has a sense of humor but stays calm. She's clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. And that's not always easy, especially managing a family and a household and a business. Proverbs 31:26, she has spiritual speech. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. Proverbs 31:27, she manages the family. She watches over the affairs of her household, and she does not eat the bread of idleness. Proverbs 31:28, she is an honored wife and mother. It says her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also praises her. And then she just stands out. She's above the crowd. In Proverbs 31:29, many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. And she's got this inner beauty. Proverbs 31:30, charm is deceitful and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. And she has a citywide reputation. Proverbs 31:31, honor her for all her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. I know so many godly spiritual women, and meeting more and more of them all the time, and it's a great challenge to live in this world and be godly and spiritual. But this is a great description of the kind of women that aspire to please God. So some good discussion questions are, how can this list be kept in perspective without becoming overwhelming? It's a great list, but it can be overwhelming. So we've got to keep it in perspective. And then what qualities do you see in yourself that are strengths at this current time from this list? This doesn't need to be a scorecard or a grade sheet, but it does need to be goals that we can aspire to. So which ones are strengths right now? And then the next question is, what qualities would you like to increase in currently in your life? So what ones are you focused on to grow in? And then what are the most difficult challenges and long-term goals from this list for you? You know, some of these may be harder for us to accomplish and become than others. And so which ones are the difficult ones? And then fifthly and lastly, how have you seen women you know grow in some of these qualities? How have they done it? How have they made it work? What are some examples that you can share? So may this lesson be a blessing to you. I know it's in the scriptures to encourage women. And our next lesson will be about godly men. Amen.